Light up your fire.
When the nervous system activates in high stakes conditions, the assumption is that it's protecting you from some physical or emotional threat, the classic fight or flight wild tiger territory. But we are not in that landscape anymore. In professional environments, especially when you're speaking in a language that is not your first, your system is often protecting you from something else, and it's real. And that's legitimacy. The urgency is the same, but the predator is very different. Welcome to the Sovereign Voice. This is a channel where language, identity, and presence meet. I'm Roxana Fiamma and the creator of Lingosomatica, which is a somatic recalibration system for multilingual leaders like you who navigate public speaking in a language that is not your first. You may have heard part of my story already. This is what I actually did with it. You see, for a long stretch of time, I found myself under a lot of pressure with regards to my English. The evaluation was constant, and it manifested most heavily on how I expressed my idea, especially in writing. There was this very specific language I was expected to use, a tone, a structure, a way of thinking that signaled I belonged here or I'm doing as I'm told. And I learned it well. In the end, I did, and I learned it too well. But slowly, something else happened, unfortunately. My own way of thinking went underground, and eventually, I actually lost touch with it for a time. I started emulating voices that weren't mine in order to fit in. They sounded hollow to me, but because they were rewarded, I used them anyway, like graffiti on a pretty wall, literally. And at the time, I didn't name this as a loss, but I experienced it as pressure. And I complied, especially from the position of being foreigner. Even when you're fluent, there's this unspoken rule: don't take up too much space with your own authorship. It's not welcomed here. So my system adapted. It narrowed what I allowed myself to say. It prioritized approval over coherence. And this is protection turning inward. And the most important thing I realized later was this: that there was a certain violence in that. And it wasn't only external. The final move happened inside me. That doesn't excuse the system, but it shows where sovereignty is first lost. And therefore, it's where it can begin again. And that's empowering because it puts you back in control and you can relearn, or rather, remember who you really are. It all starts here. When identity is in metamorphosis, protection strategies intensify. And even if they feel negative in hindsight, it's always in your best interest. Everything is in your best interest. It's like a known natural law. It's in the caterpillar's nature to reject the new elements of transformation because they're alien in sensation. The caterpillar hasn't got a clue what it feels like to be a butterfly. And it's good to be vulnerable because that is the element that connects you with the audience. Because the audience is not there to expect perfection from you. Actually, the more perfect you come across, the more intimidating you are to people. If any of this resonates with you, the invitation is not to fix anything. It's simply to notice. Notice when you start monitoring yourself. Observe if your voice adjusts before meaning has arrived. Just catch it without doing anything. That noticing is the work to begin with. If this resonates, you can try a free 20-minute Lingosomatica diagnostic session, which is a conversation that will help you discover what's actually happening in your body in high stakes moments. And it will lead you to explore a deeper aspect of you as an authentic communicator. After that, whether or not we'll continue to work together, you will have gained new insight about yourself. And that's what matters. If that calls you, the link to connect with me is in the description box below. If you want to explore this further, subscribe to the Sovereign Voice channel, where I explore every week about the somatic element of public speaking in a second language. For now, stay with what you noticed. I see you next time.